Hello there guys and girls. So I'm sure most of you right now are focusing on trying to complete the boss challenge event, because out of this event you can get a ton of extra divine tickets, and plus you can get a cute little Flutterby dragon. I am on round 2 at the moment, since we've already completed round 1, and obviously for beating that boss we got an extra divine ticket. But today I'm going to be going through some of the stats or items that you can get for finishing each round, and also the sort of cooldowns that are coming from this event. And you know, thanks goes to the people on the forums for all of this info. So Alexis said, "We'll confirm that you can get 20 divine tickets for completing a round in the boss challenge event. So every round that you complete, apart from round 4, you can get 20 free divine tickets." So as Alexis has posted here, for round 1 you get 20, round 2 you get 20, round 3 you get 20, round 4 you just get the Flutterby, and the 5th and final round you get 20 divine tickets. And this is not including the tickets that you get for completing each boss as well. So you do get bonus tickets on top of that, so you can get around about 100 divine tickets for free if you can do round 5. But the important thing is, how easy or how difficult is it to actually finish all of these rounds? Because we've got like another 5 or so-ish days left. Well, there has been a table posted here, apparently it's from an old forum topic, but this shows us the cooldown for every single fight on every single round. So this is an extremely useful piece of info for the events, and I highly suggest you use this if you want to, you know, sort of work out how far you can get in the event based off of your own schedule. But the main thing to point out is that round 1, it shows you how many gems it would cost total and how long in general it would take to finish this round. So then we've got round 1, then we got round 2 at 1 day 6 hours and 37, then round 3 at 2 days 7 hours and 2 minutes, round 4 at 3 days 9 hours and 12 minutes, and round 5 is sitting at 4 days 12 hours and 17 minutes. So hopefully that gives you an idea of, you know, how likely you are to complete this event, because, you know, with all of the fights having 2-hour cooldowns on round 5, you know, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, that's a full day gone already right there. But it does show you that between round 2 and 5, the actual total time it takes isn't really too different, but the early rounds are definitely a lot easier because of the sort of mid to early fights. But again, the reason why this is so important is because the boss challenge event itself is tough because you have to log in so frequently. Because you might be like, oh, well, it'll only take 4.5 days. We've got 5 days and 20 hours left. Yeah, but you're probably not taking into account the fact that most people are going to be sleeping for at least 8 hours a day. So these boss challenge events are very, very, shall we say, close for time every single time, especially if you're looking to sort of complete round 5. I don't think I've ever completed round 5. I've only ever bothered with round 4. But when we do have these divine tickets on offer, obviously it's a lot more tempting to try and, you know, maybe skip a little bit of sleep to do that. But if you're someone that does plan on sleeping a normal amount, a healthy amount every night, you're not going to be doing round 5 without paying. You can do round 4 without paying, although again, it is going to be extremely, extremely close. And the only tip that I have for boss challenge events, apart from, you know, keep your teams as even as possible, is log in as soon as the round is done. So, an easy way that I tend to do it with boss challenge events, for example, is I'll just look in the bottom right hand corner, check what time it is, say I've got to wait 50 minutes, and then I'll go, okay, exactly 50 minutes from now I will come back and do that, fine. Another thing that you can do during, you know, these sorts of events that are really, really important that you log in consistently is you can also set a timer So if you're on PC, you can just search up on Google, you know, timer, set it to an hour or 2 hours, whatever it is, and then you'll easily get notified and there's no way you're going to miss it. I believe that there are certain apps on mobile that are better than just the base timer app as well, that you can enable. Obviously, if you're at school or at work, you probably don't want your timer going off every 2 hours in the middle of class because, I don't know, maybe you'll get your phone taken off you or something. But at the very least, if you really want to go and try hard these events, that's the sort of stuff that people do. I mean, considering how close we are to getting that fairy dragon, I am super wanting to do that because at the moment we have, what is it, 71 pieces for the fairy dragon. And 71 pieces out of 100 is actually pretty damn good. And on top of that, we've still got 66 pieces of Poseidon. Obviously, that could be better. I wish I could get better than that. But at the very least, I want to get the fairy dragon so that we can get the root dragon. Just because why not? Because that is really the only dragon that we have to worry about. Because we're going to get the cyber anyway. Out of the pretty much the tickets that we already have. But that fairy dragon is the only real problem that we have to deal with. You know, I've given up on Chrono Zeus a long time ago. So don't even ask me about him. It's like, are you going for Chrono Zeus? No. If it somehow happened, I would be utterly amazed. But it's not going to. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. It's just like, take whatever you can get out of these events because they're clearly not designed for free-to-play players, or, to be honest, they're not even designed for players that spend a ton of money because they're just an endless RNG loot box. Because that's the main problem. Even if you spend like $200 on chests, you do get pieces for Chrono Zeus every 100 chests, but unless you spend an extortionate amount, you are not guaranteed Chrono Zeus by any stretch. So if you're considering spending on chests, do be aware that if you want Chrono Zeus, the only people that have got him are those that have spent way above the hundreds at this point. From what I've seen, at least, for people that have, you know, announced it publicly, they have all spent upwards of $200, which is insanity considering that, you know, Hathor and Freya are technically better than Chrono Aphrodite. But hey, you know, some people are just mental and they just want everything in the game, even if it, like, just think you could buy, like, I don't know, what could you buy? You could buy, like, a new motherboard, or you could buy, like, you could put a ton of money towards, like, a gaming rig for that. But instead, people will just spend it on the chance for one divine dragon. Look, I'm just saying I don't think that it's a smart move to be investing into something like that. Even if you're rich, just invest into something else. Just actually invest. Like, your money is much better off being spent elsewhere than on RNG loot boxes, which will hopefully, before you know it, get outlawed. Because they're just ridiculous. Like, genuinely. I understand that the very first divine chests that we had major problems, you know, the ones with Zeus and that in it, because the thing about those chests was you were guaranteed the dragons after a set amount of chests. And because of that, it meant that you weren't just endlessly throwing money into the pit. But the problem with them was the fact that very little amounts of people actually got all of the other dragons out of the chests. So what they've done instead is they've made every single other dragon in the chest good or easy enough to get if you consistently participate in the events, but they've made the divines even harder to get now. And some people might say, well, what's the point of the event? Because the only thing that people want out of it are the divines. And I do sort of agree. Because, you know, they're called divine events. Obviously, people want the divines out of it. And now the divines are much harder than they ever used to be to get. It was the same with the last events as well. But I just wish that we could do something that was fairer for everyone, rather than everyone just having to throw their cash into an endless void. It is just gambling. It is outright gambling. Like, you could say, well, real money is not getting thrown into it when you're buying it with divine tickets, but people are. People are spending hundreds. Some people are spending thousands because they want to get more than one of them. And you can imagine how many people have legitimately spent, like, hundreds and hundreds and still not gotten chrono zeus, and they're, like, at the end of their tether. You don't want to see someone like that. You'd have to be, like, unstable enough in the first place to spend all that money on the chest, but then imagine if they didn't get it. Oof, that's no good. It's like when you hear stories about little kids that steal their parents' credit cards and then they go and spend it on loot boxes. It's like, why? Surely they should have been taught better by this point in their lives. Like, I don't think you can have a child in this day and age and not teach them about, you know, loot boxes and microtransactions, because kids fall for it so easily. They don't understand what they're doing. And plus, a lot of kids don't understand the value of money in general, so it just goes way over their head. They're like, I want this cool dragon! And then they'll go and, like, steal the month's worth of rent. So, I guess this is a PSA to parents. Just make sure you're keeping track of what your kids are doing in this game. To kids that are playing this game, this is a PSA to you to not be an idiot, please. Same with the parents that spend way too much money, though. Like, instead of just buying other stuff, why would you buy virtual dragons? For hundreds and hundreds. Like, if it was guaranteed, I wouldn't have as much of an issue. Like, you can spend your money on whatever the hell you want, but just don't ever spend on random drops, no matter what they are. It's like trading cards. They're all randomized as well, and they all suck. Like, you have to buy trading card packs to hopefully get a rare one, and it's like in 99% of the ones you open, you're never gonna get anything that's that valuable anyway. I know, people are just so addicted to, you know, the euphoria that they get out of getting that lucky pull. And it really, realistically should just not happen like that, but... You know, anyway, for now, I am going to leave you there. So like I said, make sure you check out all of those forum posts that will help you out with this boss challenge event. Again, the link to this one is next week events 3/11/2019. I will try and link this wherever I can. If I forget, moan at me. But regardless, good luck getting all of your free divine tickets. Enjoy yourselves. Until next time, I will see you then.